Oh, hey, hello. Welcome to Everyday Experts, special basketball edition slash slice edition slash generational edition. I'm your host, Joker, Sir Joker, Killy, whatever you want to call me. Most of the time I just go by Joker. Today I'm Joker Daddy, in homage to Shaq Daddy, who we will get into, and why he's one of my favorite players of ever. Um, fun show in front of you, in store for you. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. There's a lot been going on with basketball, a lot been going on with life in general. And I got my crew, got my guy Ray back, who's gonna, effuse on life things. Got my young guy Jordan. He's gonna talk about some young people stuff and how life is being an assistant coach, growing up, and doing all things basketball. My first guest from the Temple of Light Skin, the pastor, the man who keeps the lights on, who tithes every 3 minutes, and his goal is to get $5 million. The coach of the Walt Whitman Wildcats, the head coach, the varsity head coach, my guy, Mr. Ray Eatman.
How's it going, Bag?
What's up?
I'm taking money from religion.
I didn't say anything.
Hey, religion taking money from people anyway, so I might as well do it too, right?
We have a Ray's assistant head coach, Ray Jr. with him.
Yeah, the third. I'm Ray Jr.
Oh,
He's
Ray
the third.
I'm sorry.
Say hi, Raymond. Say hi.
Hi, Raymond. How you doing? Yeah. You famous today.
Yeah, I can show.
Next man that's going to come up and represent for the squad. Young fella I just met recently, one of Ray's assistant coaches. Seems to be very directed, seems to be very motivated, works hard. Unfortunately, he's also light-skinned, and we try to overlook those things and those setbacks. I tried to find his life stats when I Googled him, but I couldn't find them. I don't know why. I don't think Whitman gave me access to those numbers. I think it might be secret information. The man, the young myth, the young legend in growth, in development, Mr. Jordan Aiken.
That was great. That might be one of the top 5 intros I've ever received, man.
Especially what Dawson do, bro. He ain't even try to insult you like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he threw a couple of jabs in, but I was like, ooh, roll with those. I was good after that.
He upset that we were stirring the soup and he was picking the cotton.
That's a fact. I was dusting. I was good. We were good.
I'm all right with that. So, fellas, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Can't complain, man. Another day.
I'm good.
How are you feeling about Giannis giving the Celtics 42? Like it was baby food.
I'll say this. Since I know you mentioned earlier lightly Shaq and him being one of your favorites, him being known as one of the most dominant players ever, I think Giannis is right up there with him and in that category of one of the most dominant to ever play the game, period.
But with Giannis, though, it's different than Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
I always say this. Giannis is a foreigner. As much as people look at his skin, Giannis is a foreigner. And Shaq, he kind of get it because he's a military kid. But with Giannis, other than other superstars, they were friends with guys. They played in camps with guys. They grew up with guys. It's like, take a KD. He could have played with a dude in Cali because somebody would have paid him and flew him out to an AAU tournament in Atlanta to play for the one team for this weekend.
Yep.
Giannis, he didn't go through the stardom as a kid to college and say, hey, I'm that dude now. Giannis is someone, that's why he don't work out with people, let alone his brothers are good too. That's why he don't work out with people. It's like, none of y'all my idols, none of y'all my friends. I don't rock with y'all.
Good point. Hold on a second, Ray. Hold on a second. Jordan, I got to ask you the inaugural question I ask all my guests. The first question I ask everybody. If you could be a wolf, a werewolf, a vampire, a zombie, a ghost, a serial killer, or a witch, which would you be and why?
He'd be taller.
Yeah, I'm tall enough. I ain't nothing, man. I'd be a werewolf.
Why would you be a werewolf?
I'll say this. I'm like, wolves are one of my favorite animals, period. And I got a wolf pattern, things like that. But in general, man, I feel like you can't. There's nothing. It makes sense. You be able to just flip to the one side, and you don't even remember anything that you do while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So you run amok, go crazy, do your thing, and flip back. First, the worst part about it, I guess, you just out there exposed, naked, right after you flip back. But outside of that, I'd be like, hey, man, listen, I don't know what happened either. I'll probably just walk over to the bar like that, grab a drink, sit down, act like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it normal. But
Okay.
Yeah, probably why.
Okay, I like it. He's coming to play today. I like it.
He'd be a bloodhound.
Hey, only one of one. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to know. Because you brought that up, my alma mater, only school in all of sports, in all levels, right? In college level, I should say. In all college divisions, 1, 2, 3, NAIA, JUCO, whatever, the mascot's a bloodhound.
Really?
I respect that. I respect that. But bloodhounds are house dogs. So it's like, depending on how you raise it, you can have a good one. Or you can have that one where you ain't protecting nobody.
Nah, I'll say this. They trustworthy. They know that nose is trustworthy. And it's that same type of thing. It's intuition for me. And I trust that. You know what I'm saying? It's one and the same. One and the same.
All right. So that's a good transition back to Giannis. So when we were talking about Giannis and how him being an international foreign player separates him. What do you think separates the elites, the Giannis's, the KDs, the LeBrons, the Kawhis, the who else am I missing? The Jokic's. What do you think separates them from other basketball players?
You go, Jordan.
Besides the obvious talent.
I'd say what separates them more so than anything else is the desire to be different. I think everyone else, not everyone else, but everybody, the people that fall into their roles are content with being role players. They understand how to maximize their potential and maybe fit into a spot and just be that. But those other guys, they can't be satisfied with that. So that desire to be more, to do more is always going to give you that drive, that motivation to become that. You know what I'm saying? So at least that's what I see.
Mr. Eatman, coach, sir?
My answer is a little weird because it goes.
Really? Shocker.
Oh, I'm a weird dude with that. But I feel like a lot of the superstars for real, the instability they had growing up. So and where I say the instability, because you can understand the spot to be stable. Like certain role players go from team to team and be the same player, and they actually have a good career, But where I say like not being stable is take a LeBron, how his mother was and how she met the father and all that stuff. And I'm goofy. I want to say something crazy, but there's no reason. We got a different conversation today, so I'm not. But it's like he had a mother who did for real. That's what LeBron did. But he had a mother who she was single. She did what she did and stuff like that, where he doesn't have to get in a constant area of where his stability is saying like, oh, everyone loves me. It's like, I got to move better. And back to Giannis and him, it's like he was actually on the other side of Giannis where everyone loved him from 9th grade. He had to prove whatever. He could have came to the NBA, been a solid player. Everyone would have been cool with him, where I say stability of I'm a good role player, but he had to keep pushing. Him, KD comes from a single family household where his mother and he had a brother and certain things where it's a drive what pushes you on the aspect of I could get to a point where I would like to be, but I got to go further. Not because I really want to go further, but I've never been comfortable at one spot because me growing up, I've never been comfortable at one spot.
Actually, I was about to just piggyback off of that and say exactly what you just finished with. Comfortability. I think, they're comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then when you get uncomfortable or when you're not, even the lack thereof, like let's say, look at someone like Jokic, who last year he won MVP and this year he could get, stagnant, complacent, whatever you want to say. But instead it's that idea of, well, but it's still not enough. That's not what he's playing for. So at the end of the day, whatever his why is, whatever his reason for playing, which clearly you can see how hard he took it when he lost and went back to his home country, was riding around a little tractor thing and a little, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? But that was real, that, he had to clear his head and just completely separate because it's that idea of he felt like he had to isolate and get alone with those thoughts because he probably believes that no one else understands his point of view, his situation, because other people would just be trying to find the good in it. And although he might be able to see that, he still understands that, hey, the job ain't done and I'm not finished and I have a lot more to give. So this year, it could have been a fall off year. It could have been a whatever. But now he's putting up even better numbers than last year and he was the MVP. So that, you know what I'm saying, that's saying a lot about his desire to do more based off like what Coach Ray was saying about the being uncomfortable. And same thing,
even with that is going to goals.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the NBA, and I'm going to say this: 9 times out of 10, if you go to a 10-year span, the same players been the best players. Whether it's 1 through 5, 1 through 10, it's the same players. Now, you don't think every year they're getting judged off of consistency, where it's take a guy like Giannis, and he's different, where every year he's trying to push his stats. But sometimes when you're the best, everyone expects you to be the best. So when it comes down to voting, give you more popularity, people aren't going to vote for you because they're like, he's supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. Now, the difference in guys, KD, who I love his game, LeBron, Jokic, which NBA wants the great white hype. No disrespect to nobody, but we know what it is. Him, Luka, we know what it is. But it's certain
Luka
guys.
Listen, Luka and Jokic hoop though.
No, I'm not taking away from them.
Oh, yeah.
The NBA is going to push them differently. The NBA is going to push them differently. So now within them, it's people could have consistent stats. This year it's like, oh, those stats are official. Next year it's like you're supposed to do that. Where voters aren't going to vote for you. Not like you're playing. They're going to vote for you. They're not going to vote for you like you're playing bad, opposed to voting for you because you're doing your thing and showing I'm that dude. You know. So a lot of it comes off of numbers where people look at you as take a Giannis. Giannis, he got better every year. MVP years, he got better every year. Where it's like, I know if I average 20, next year they're going to expect me to average 20. So for me to have a good season, I have to average 25. And then when I do that, it's the same. I have to go up now. I have to go up now because no one's giving you your just due onto what you're actually doing. Like, as much as we want consistency, we want productive consistency. Much as we want that, when it happens, then people look at that like it's not enough. You know?
So, what do you think about Ja? Ja Morant.
You go first this time.
I got it. Ja is someone where he's the prototypical 2020 type dude. And I say 2020. I know we're in 2022, but we're in a new decade. Where because kids are prone to watch these, and Vine made it whatever it was, but it's less than Vine now. But these quick videos on TikTok, on whatever you watching, he's the prototypical highlight type. Where I can never knock him is that when it comes down to it, when the game's there, give me the rock. I want to win this, and that's an old school mentality because it's on. And I know, Kelly, I know you. We can get into that type of stuff later, but what I say is old school mentality is that nowadays kids are afraid to fail. Back in the day, kids wanted to take these chances to show I could do it, and that's where Ja is like. Is down to win, give it to me. If I win with it, I win with it. If I lose with it, I lose with it. Take game one with the Warriors. I'm a Warriors dude because they play good basketball. They got mad light-skinned dudes on their squad. But it's like that was a good play for Ja. He missed the shot what he usually makes. Most guys, it's like, oh, game winning time. I'm turning my head backwards because I'm not trying to lose this contract the next time saying I'm not clutch.
I'll say this. I agree with. I definitely agree with the social media aspect. Like he's the perfect player to highlight on social media because of just obviously the basketball highlights, but also who he is as a person. You know, he's gonna be doing the dancing, the showboat, and the stuff that I'm.
That's the generation on. That's the generation too. The dancing. We wasn't doing that. It was like straight face.
I'm cool with that to an extent. Like I'm cool if you're doing your thing and you're backing it up with your play. Then you should be able to do it and celebrate and express yourself however you want on the court.
Now, wait. Let me stop you real quick before you explain. What I like about this right now, for real, is that it's the progression of cool. I know Achilles' time, it was like, I'm scary, I'm doing you dusty, I'm dominating. My time, it was like that the few dudes who had it could do whatever, and no one cared. And it's like we couldn't even. They was them dudes. Jordan, your time, it's like celebrate a layup just because, and it's like it's 2 points
just because it looks cute.
But
I'll say this,
but I would say this, and you have those. You're one of the few, Jordan, that you got the blend of everything.
Yeah,
but your time was like, I'm about to roll my shorts up, and I'm like, only people I saw roll shorts up was girls, and you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Nah, but that was still my time. Where my time was this: girls only roll their shorts up, but if they look fire, you might do it. You know, Achilles then was like, "Now you roll your shorts up, I'm not pass you the ball the whole game." Like,
yeah, the second.
I'm already knowing.
Second,
no, but I like with this discussion. It's the right progression of like ages.
It's like a mix, because I'll say this. See, I got the mix too, even with the jerseys. Because when I first got into college, right, I got the tail end of like, it was weird. Also, my conference
like jerseys, long shorts.
Yeah, like there was just like the long, wide ass.
Like,
yo, I was in college, and coach was like, "What do you think what we would have to do to make us better?" We talking as a team. I was like, "If we get tight jerseys and long shorts."
So this is a good
because he would say that.
So what I want to ask is, so juxtapose Ja, Luka, and Trey. Different games, different styles of play, and if you talk about, it's almost like saying, all right, we'll say Ja is the baby, and we'll say Luka. Who can Luka even be? Luka could be like
Luka's Jack Harlow.
No, Luka could be Jack Harlow. Trey could be like what's his name?
Trey is the
what's his light skinned dude? Drake. So Trey could be
Drake. Trey can't be Drake, bro.
Yeah, that's too. That's just like the obvious. That's like a light.
Because yes.
Okay. No. Trey can't be Drake because Drake can flow into whatever.
Is my
Trey
show.
can only shoot threes.
This is my show. So if you juxtapose the three of them, why are they different? Why do they appeal to different people? What do you guys think?
Am I the GM? Am I the GM or the coach? That's two different questions.
You're both.
Oh man.
Am I a fan? Am I a GM or am I a coach?
Be a coach. Be a coach first.
Coach first?
Yeah.
Coach first. Yeah, I was just about to say
because he's like for us Whitman guys, he's like going to Bay Shore. We could be losing, but this one dude want to get it.
That's a fact. Like, I need a dog. Like, I'll say this. I think if you have at least one dog on your team, you can't go wrong. At least someone will at least try. You'll know that someone's gonna be willing to put their head down and try to get you a gritty bucket any which way they can. And you know what I'm saying? Like, not be afraid. Like you were talking about earlier. A lot of dudes now, from what I've seen just through my experience of playing, coaching, all that. This generation, my generation included, a lot of guys are just afraid to fail. Where it comes to whether you're transferring to a million different schools, whether you're running away or you're making excuses when someone asks you something, instead of just being real and owning up to it and taking responsibility and saying, it was me, it was this, it was that. It's all the extra stuff, and it's the fear. It's all coming from fear of failing. But I think Ja's not like that. Trey is a good option, just because anyone that's going to be giving you 30 a game, near like pretty much
when he's not getting locked up.
Yeah, exactly. You saw though. Exactly, and I guarantee you, every team in the league is going to be looking at the film of this game and of the series with the Celtics and wondering how they kept them so handled, so maintained, so contained. But the rest of the league hasn't been able to do it to that extent yet. So until I see that he's consistently stopped up to this point, let's say you could just call that a bad series, or that was a good game plan, good defense, whatever, by the Celtics. And then third, Luka. I would probably put Luka ahead of Trey. Trey is more of the appeal as far as the flashiness. He's going to appeal to the young generation, so that you're going to get the kids, the fans. If I'm a coach in that aspect, I know he's going to fill the arena. Trey's got that energy to fill the arena. At the same time, Luka does too. Luka's got the appeal just because, like the coach was saying, it's the mix of the great white hype. That's why he's perfect in Dallas, I think.
That was my question. That was my question for GM and coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was GM, I'm taking Luka all day.
Exactly. But it depends. I'll say this: if I'm gonna Luka is gonna be a guy that automatically makes everyone around him better, just because of the gravity, because of also his ability and willingness to.
All right, hold on. I have to contest that. I have to contest your premise. What does Luka do to make them better? Luka has the ball. If what's his usage rate? 300.
Probably. He's playing point.
If he could pass to himself, he would.
And you know what sucks, Luka. Game one, he had 45 with an L.
Okay, but he's still averaging every game. He's putting up 8 or 9 assists a game
with L's.
That means, but I'm not.
Are they real assists? Or are they Russell Westbrook assists?
His question, yes, I'll say they're real assists because if you're getting double,
my boy Westbrook, bro, stop, man.
Wait, hold on. Russell, first of all, let's edify. Russell doesn't get real assists. He gets those. Luka is top.
No, he don't get. Yo, I'm agree with you. He don't get real assists.
He's not a real point guard.
Also, they don't give him all his turnovers either. But I like him.
He has like 15 a game.
Russell Westbrook, he averaged real average. You know they got stat average. They got real average. Only real averages for real. Was not just stat averages of points because you get points.
Mm-hmm.
Real average. He averages 8 turnovers a game, bro. 8 turnovers.
I was gonna say 6, but
no, the reason I say 8. You have 8. You have 6 real bad turnovers, and then you have another 2 to 3, which would be 8 or 9 hustle turnovers every game. Yeah. But that's part of his game. You have, like, I hate the fake analytics that have plus and minus. It's like, no, you didn't give him his real stats because you gave him a rebound for a tap. That's not a rebound.
Yeah, I'll say this.
Rebound, you grab it, you chin it. That's a rebound. You know?
The way they do stats in the NBA is a little weird to me. Like I still to this day don't understand how. I would love to have someone sit down and explain how they keep track. Like what would be considered an assist? What's considered this? What's considered an actual rebound? And it's like or even steals. Steals is a big one because to me they give in the NBA especially if you throw the ball and it gets tipped and someone else catches it, now your tip is a steal. I mean, I guess, but in my opinion, it's if that tip is caught by another player, then what? It's nothing. So the person really intercepting the pass and getting control of the ball, that's who steals the ball. But that's just one of the rules. But in general, yeah, I would love to see how all that got broken down.
Look, to Gregory's point, he's not in the clutch. He's just in general. He's a terrible decision maker.
Listen, I hate hearing clutch. I hate hearing clutch because clutch is 2 different things. Every game could be clutch, and we know that. But what the normal eye thinks clutch is when I'm watching ABC, what is he going to do on this last shot?
Yeah.
But what sucks is ESPN adds to that fact by saying, oh, clutch, and they'll give stats from clutch. Like, 12. They play 82 games a season. You can't tell me the best player isn't going to be in the clutch more than that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, he was 7 out of 12 in the clutch. It's funny to me. So, Theo, no disrespect. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. But
now,
he does. Because he's right.
That's weird. The clutch stats weird.
No, it's and I can't even say my mindset is right. I can't say that. I won't even say that. But it's 2 different mindsets, and one could think they're one way, and one could think they're the other way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say this. I mean, Russ in general, going based off what he was saying, he said he's a terrible decision maker. I'll say this, this year was highlighted more than ever because he didn't complete, like I'll say this, in the past, he was able to still have the highlight plays, still put up great numbers, still first of all you're getting triple doubles. So now that's taken away from the turnovers and how bad it was. This year is the year where now his stats fall off, the points, everything else drops. Now you highlight things like his turnovers because you're like, well, see, he's not giving us the triple-double anymore. So we were able to live with the turnovers, not talk about them as much because also they were winning. They were successful. They were a top 4 team in the West. Now you're a team that's fighting in a play-in tournament. And yeah, you have the same turnovers you've been having, the same type, the same decisions you've been making your whole career, except exactly now it's highlighted because you're in LA, you're playing with LeBron, you have a stacked team, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. Like you said, it's just going based off what people pay attention with or pay attention to at the time. And in this year for us, he was also the easy LeBron. They're losing everyone's, if LeBron's on the team, why isn't LeBron getting the heat like he usually would?
He'll never get the heat. You know why he don't get the heat?
But he's also leading the league in scoring though. So he's doing that to take the
No, he's not. He's not.
He was top. Greg.
No, I'm not. But listen, Jordan. I promise you, what you're saying is right. This is where I say no, he's not. And you're right. Technically, you're right. But where he's not is that it's one thing if I'm averaging with guys who play the whole 82, opposed to a guy playing 53.
Mm-hmm.
I play 82 and I can have the same opportunities as you, but it's more opportunities for me to not get it. If you play 53, LeBron.
Yeah. I mean,
but where you're right, and this is what goes to the NBA give money to their awards. They'll say, "Hey, he averaged the most in the league this year at 37." Mm-hmm. Where it's like, no, it should be a minimum because. If I get to a point where I want my contract, I get to a point where I really want my bread and I can't have these executives saying you don't deserve it, I'm going to play 57 games. I'm going to average 30 because my body's not right to average 30 at 82. No. But at 57, I could be that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop myself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree because a lot of people don't realize the contract things. Even something like people saw the Drew Holiday situation with him starting the game and then getting pulled out immediately. Just 8 seconds. Exactly. And that's Bulldozer paying his respect. Like, hey, look,
that's one side saying, "Yo, we respect you, we cool." Because we hear more stories about the other side. Like we took him out because we didn't want to take three more shots.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's exactly that's the part of it that I feel like it's the contract thing too. Like you said, now let's say in LeBron's contract, it's you finish top 5 scoring, you get an extra 200,000 in your contract, you get an extra $1 million. Now he's like, okay, what's the bare minimum? Like they always have, everything is minimums in the NBA.
That's the way he's screwing him.
Exactly, the minimum attempts, the minimum games played.
But I have a question. For both of y'all, and this. And I'm about to ask a question about LeBron, and it's the same certain situation because the Lakers, they had 3 games left. They could have tried to get in the play-in. Now, where I ask this question, say Zion. Do you think Zion lost money this year showing these dunk videos? And then we go back to the generation. But showing these dunk videos and not playing in the playoffs when his team got in?
Whoa. I'll say this. Well, actually, Kelly, you go.
Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I want to pick your brain. I want to see
you don't want to pick my brain because, this is Zion.
You go find a skeleton and you're like, oh, that's an Aiken.
You show videos of you dunking. It's one video of a 2-minute clip. What else is going on? He's not really playing hard. He's doing a light walkthrough. Can't even play in the game. He's always hurt. He's too heavy. And
he's still got baby fat.
What is he even 20 yet? And
he's 20.
I have a question. What do you think Zion? I'm gonna say this. What do you think Zion's truly eating?
Oh, whatever he wants. Listen, certain people get money and it's like, I'm about to put my pinky up. I'm about to go buy this. I feel like Zion's like, yo, this is more Wendy's I could get. But what is honestly Zion might lose his seat to J. Cole. So anyway, we're gonna ignore that.
I'm here for it.
My whole thing is
that was Dre. I know that was Dre.
I'm here for it.
With Zion, the issue is that he has to want to be healthy and to do better, just like Anthony Davis. Always hurt. Always.
But I have a question for that. Does he know how
Can I
to?
answer one question at a time, Ray?
No, because you say things sometimes.
How you ask 4 questions? All right, so let me get my bridge.
That's why you're not allowed to run the show.
He's trying to.
I know.
Huh?
He's used to being in charge.
I know. Yo, you should see. That's why I'm cool being the assistant. Hey, it's Ray show. I'm here to support.
Jordan say that because I might say something wrong. Jordan be looking like, yo, you can say that shit. I'm like, yeah.
Yo, I'll be like, damn, so I can say that next year. All right, bet. Watch when I come back next year.
So Zion's an anomaly because of how his body's built and how has the ridiculous athleticism. And he's not putting his body in a place to take advantage of all of those things. So he won't. If he doesn't lose weight, he's not ever going to get his legs and his knees and his ankles and his feet together. Because he's been jumping like that for 10 years already?
That's true.
Yeah. And think about it. That's all that and this is my personal thing about AAU, and we'll go into it later. But my thing with AAU is you're playing so much; it's just wear and tear on your body. Mm-hmm. You're playing 6 games in one day, and then you're playing another 6 games, and it's just like, oh yeah, but I'm getting better. But are you?
It's also the way, like what you're saying, the way that the games are played. Like you'll play. I remember being at, like, let's say, whatever, either an out-of-state tournament, in-state, didn't matter. There's times where Island Garden even.
Yeah.
Over it, you know what I'm saying? You're waiting. You play 2 games in a row. Now you're sitting there cold. You wait 2 hours. You wait 2 games. Now they're like, all right, you guys are on. Let's go. You get on, and you're like, wait, they put 5 minutes up to warm up, and you're like, bro,
I've been sitting for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Like, I was like, yo, I kind of just got I'm still getting the crusties out my eyes. Like, this is crazy. But and then now you're expected to perform, and then you put like you said, now when you're young, you can do that. Andy Davis shit. I didn't even read that.
Gregory's wild.
This hit us with a jab, bro.
Right?
He said, enough of that. But I don't even remember. Yeah, but the AAU now it's crazy. Like,
yeah,
it's got to get restructured a different way. Whether it's,
they won't.
They won't.
They want money. They want money.
Yeah, I know. Of course. Come on, man.
Listen. And what people don't understand, they talk about college, with the NIL for college is one thing, but high school players are also able to get that. You're famous now, man. But they're able to get it. They just can't promote their high school and the stuff. But what is AAU gonna do when a college is like, yo, I can give you $600,000 for this one car commercial? Because AAU a lot what it brings to it is those same trainers, those same coaches, whatever venue that we know what it is at Island Garden, who was working there and stuff like that. When they have them tournaments, that's how they break them people off. Mm-hmm. Yo, you're paying for a tournament where I could give you 3 games minimum, and like we talked, okay, you play 6 games on that Saturday, so 3 games on that Saturday, you might not get nothing for the rest of the weekend. Depends on how you do. But all these teams are paying for that, and now where it's a more modern AAU thing, now it's opened up even more.
Yeah,
where you see the terrible kids playing against each other, but so the parents say they playing AAU, but that's money going somewhere for a tournament.
Then you skewed the reality of your game. If I'm playing against another terrible kid and I give him 50,
that's why basketball is terrible now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was about to say.
Like it's a place for everyone to go. Like, but back in the day, you go to one park and it's like, I'm not playing there, and it's like you can't go to the other park over there because they know whoever play over at this park. Yeah. And that park and stuff too. Nowadays, it's like I can't play at either of these parks. Mom, get me a team. And it's like, okay, son, and it'd be you, Jerome, Toby. It'd be seven dudes who's terrible. You averaging 30, but getting beat by 60.
Exactly.
The score is 90-30. Like, you know what I'm
saying? And these people, and they don't understand like what they're even looking at. Because, realistically, if I'm still playing ball, and I'm 43, so if I'm playing ball with kids that are 10 years, 15 years younger than me, you should be blowing me off the court.
Yes.
I'm
that's
old
another
and
thing.
out of
Yeah.
shape. And just because I know how to play, that's the thing. Okay, well, AAU, yeah, so what you play? I didn't play AAU. I didn't go to camp.
No, but Kelly,
I was a scrub. I'm okay with that. But I can still go and show you stuff that you never even thought of. And that's what's hilarious to me, that, yeah, AAU is great for some kids in the proper light.
The true proper light. And it takes, for anything, it takes a real light to shine on it. But that's the true proper light, like knowing this kid is playing for this team because development to going to X college, because this is paid for by one alumni who another alumni coaches the team. But it takes all that to be that successful. And in retrospect, nowadays, where the positive of social media, the positive of 2020 type kids, is that it's not about I have to go to this place to get exposure.
Yeah.
No, you can get exposure in different ways if you put the work into
it.
Yeah, especially now. I feel like it's easy to not globalize your game, but at least put it on put yourself on the map. It's easier to get. It's easier to get film. Like in general, I feel like back in the day, like I remember when we had huddle in high school, it was still a problem. First of all, half the time
it's easy to get film, but is it easy to get film though?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but hey, man, if we had it today, think about it like this: if both of you played in today's, how much more of your game of highlights of whatever you playing at the park, whatever would be captured on someone's phone or something.
For me, and I can say this from Achilles' game as well, because he's the hardworking dude who knows how to play.
Mine wasn't.
No, I'm about to say both of our, like for me, where I would have been captured is more because I was skinny, but I was 6'5" long. I played on the wing more than I played inside. But in retrospect, the way I played and the way I still play, I wouldn't have got captured on it. Like the biggest thing for me would have got captured on is my passing, but to me it's more.
Trying to see your passing.
No, but in general, I wouldn't have got captured because I could be successful winning, making the right play.
Yeah.
I was never flashy. I was never I was the lanky dude where it's like if I jumped up and did something, you're supposed to do that. So what? Unless I was doing some wild and I wasn't athletic enough to do anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? So in our years, we had the eye test too because we had more kids who was balling. I was 6'5", 160. I'm going D3. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do about skill. That has nothing to do about nothing. Even with football, I had JUCOs like you could come here and we could get you over here. If you gain weight. I'm looking like, yo, my family don't gain weight till we older. I want to get passed up because I played quarterback and I wasn't a runner. Like they looking at me like, Black, you're supposed to run. Like, nah, bro. I'm saying
he said, nah, bro.
What up, Helen Fishbeck? I think it's interesting when we talk about like divisions and stuff like that, because when I originally graduated, I went to Albany. Now, I had wanted to originally play at Albany, but the year I went, they transitioned from D3 to D1.
Oh, that was the first year, yeah.
And I was just like,
I was about to say,
I'm like, you're killing me because, again, and I had opportunities. Did I know the game enough to play at that level? Yeah, but I wouldn't have got any playing time. I was a 6'4" power forward, and you're playing against just guys that are bigger and athletic. Could I rebound with them and play defense with them? Yeah, that wouldn't have been an issue. But what an issue would have come is that I'm already giving up height. So then I'm giving up height, and I'm giving up athleticism, and I'm giving up speed, and I'm out intellectualing you. Like when I play against people, that's how it is now. I'm not in better shape than these people I'm playing against. I'm just smarter than most of them. And I had to learn the game on that level because, again, nobody was like, oh, yeah, Achilles, let me show you this. Let me show you. Everything I do is just from going in the gym and putting in work. And a lot of people won't do that now.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I mean, Coach Ray knows for sure. I mean, he saw me from when I was in All Island camp. For people that don't know, I was like.
I always say this when people bring that up. He had to pat you and knee pads and goggles on. Look, Raymond ain't trying to hear it. Look, he's actually trying to choke me out.
That's my partner. He's like, yo, kill that. He was a bucket. That's all you should be saying.
But he worked hard. He always worked hard. You know what?
Wait, hold on, Matt. Bring up what Greggy just said. I was Tony Gonzalez.
No, Antonio.
Nope. Horford, the guy from Chicago. What was his name that played in the Hornets for forever? The big guy.
Wait, he played on the Hornets.
The big guy.
Al Horford?
Al
Yeah.
Horford, that's what I was gonna say. He's on the Celtics now. That's the reason why South PJ is opened
Before
up.
him.
Oh, Emeka Okafor?
No.
Styles P and Jada. So I'm a big Styles P fan. More so, even probably.
Listen, this is the problem with you young guys. He played with Zach. He played with Zebo for a while.
Zach Randolph?
No.
He just said, no. He said he played with Zebo for some time.
Zach Randolph. Yeah.
No, but you ain't supposed to name who Zebo is. We knew who Zebo was already.
I did that for my generation. For the people of my age that don't know.
Nah, I'm trying to clear it up.
Yeah, back when he was on the Knicks. He be giving people buckets out the post like me. But you know what I'm saying?
You who? You never went anywhere near
the house. Achilles. You who? Chocolate milk.
Nobody watching this knows how tall I actually am. That's the best part.
You're 6'9".
5'6".
I'm 6'5".
He's 6'5".
I'm 6'5".
No, not Marc Gasol, not Elton Brand. I can't remember his name. He's older. He's in the Big Three now.
Al Harrington. He played for Charlotte. Yeah.
Oh, I had the proteges. I used to
he's brown skin. He brown skin. Yeah, he's like 6'8", 6'9". He could play with it a little bit.
He was on the Knicks for a little bit. But then
he was. He made the $15 shoes like Steph Marbury.
That's what I said. I was on the proteges. I was rocking those out of Kmart.
Yeah.
Playing with me, son. I was nice.
Listen, I'm over.
I had some Starburys too.
I had Starburys. I had
me too.
Anybody that was on the Knicks that was selling $15 kicks, I had them.
Nah, I had the Starburys. Dude was like brown and orange. I used to call them the peanut butters.
All right, so we talked about AAU.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. We'll go away from basketball for a second. Antonio Brown and Colin Kaepernick. Did you see what Antonio Brown said about Kaepernick?
I heard he said he was bad. Like he tried to talk how he wasn't good or something like that.
He said he didn't do anything. He just like made this big show. And Antonio Brown was like, well, I produced and I was good and I this and that. And now we all care about Colin Kaepernick and da-da-da. So we took shots at him, basically saying that he wasn't a good football player, which is not true.
No.
Like, you don't have to like Kaepernick, but he was at least solid quarterback.
Yeah. He played in the NFL and he played in Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. He played in the Super Bowl. It's like, you know.
So, what do you think about Antonio Brown and his tomfoolery?
I'll say this.
I love him to say that. I'll say this. You've been hanging out with Ray way too long.
He say that a lot. So he says every time. Dance too much. Nah, but I'll say it's like the whole Antonio Brown thing in general. I think I don't know what's good with him. I think he likes the attention. He likes being mentioned in the media for more so than just his play. I think it's to stay relevant so that way teams don't like. I'll say this: he's a great football player. That's the thing too, is it's not taking anything away from that. I think now it's just the way teams are able to label him as a distraction. It's like he doesn't really care. In his mind, he's like, I made the money I need to make. Now it's like, you're gonna take me for who I am or who I'm not. So it's like, all right. And for the most part, most of these teams, especially in the NFL, you can't just act. It's not like the NBA where Ja could be Ja. You can't have that same type of, mentality or that same type of energy and bring that to the NFL. No one wants to see that. They allow the celebrations on field and stuff, and that's the extent of that. But if you take that off the field now, it's like the helmet syndrome. You take that helmet off and you're still the same person that you are on the field. That's a problem. And I think, that's not my opinion, but I'm saying in general to the public, to the media, to most of America, that's a problem. But I think he has no problem with that. He's unapologetically him. And that part I respect. But the part of now you're trying to just say things that are just outlandish for the sake of saying them to keep yourself relevant. That part of it, I don't agree with at all.
Go ahead, Ray.
I think Antonio Brown knows business of sports. He understands that you have certain teams who could bring him in for how good he is. We use you for a few games, we release you. We take the L on the money, but keep that. You know what I'm saying? As long as it gets him to a point where it's like I have a chance to win. So he's on an aspect where I got to make myself relevant more than just what I do in my sport, but where you can't drop me. Because in retrospect, we know how America is. America's screw up. At the end of the day,
no.
At the end of the day,
Trump 2025.
He in there. Fuck Trump. But at the end of the day, he knows he'll sell more jerseys off the wild stuff that he does than the stuff he does on the field, and like the same consistency conversation. Because if he does well on the field, people expect that already. You know what I'm saying? So he's more like, I want to find myself a spot where if they don't like me right now, they can't just drop me because I'm still selling jerseys. People still want to wear the AB jerseys and all this. We know about it. We want to see the villain win,
Don't say what. Oh, Trump 2020. 2025 is an odd.
Right. Trump gonna have a ball Caesar in 2026.
I respect it. So
just stop.
I will just stop. All right. So when we talk about,
hey, what's up?
Go ahead, talk your shit, little brother. What about Antonio Brown? What about Will and Chris Rock?
You go first, cause I know I got something to.
I'm gonna say this. I don't got much to say. I said the same shit.
That's all right.
I'm gonna say this though. I don't got much to say. I'll say, hey, I can't even blame Will. Like, listen, man, you got to his breaking point. You got to his breaking point. That's it. Let's hear it, Ray.
First off,
He got to his breaking point.
Too many people care about how other people are. Well, you shouldn't be worried about them. Worry about yourself. That's the first thing. Will didn't get to no breaking point. We know they do this stuff for TV. The same way Will and Jada been having. Oh, people even said Will was out there at one point with Dwayne Martin.
He's swinging. They swingers, I heard. They swingers.
Exactly. It's like people acting like A, B, and C, and what it is with them, they care too much about the media says. So look, Will laughed when the joke came out. That's natural.
It wasn't even that bad. It was funny. It wasn't even that bad.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Will laughed. But they had to amp it on for the media to see A, B, and C. A lot of this be conspiracy type stuff. Cause look, did you see Chris Rock? If I release me myself, and I ain't no big brawler dude. If I slap Chris Rock, he ain't coming up like that. He act like he took it. A lot of it is to corrupt too much conspiracy that I want to do.
Wow.
They want black people to go against each other in general. That's what we like, Jordan. We like. We good.
Wait, did you see wait, put it back up, Matt. Did you see what he just said? Your boy said Will Slap had so much aim behind it. I think he said, I'm from Wyandanch. Through his phone.
No, but me saying that, it's like Will understands what he's doing.
Of course he does.
You've been with this woman for so long. This ain't no new relationship where you set a precedent. Stop. This is all fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's too fake.
Dang.
Whether everyone's in on it or not, that's a different story. But That's too fake. You think Will can really the day he won the Oscar, say, "Hey, I'm about to go slap somebody up there."
He didn't know he was gonna win the Oscar though.
He knew he was gonna win.
They knew.
They
I have
knew
a
he was
question,
gonna
Jordan. I have a question, Jordan. If I knew you lost something and you start breaking stuff, right? So I'm like, I'm about to have a poker game in my house. Am I gonna invite you?
No.
Because you're gonna break the hell out of my house if you don't win. So it's like they know how these things go down, bro.
I guess, but I just feel like nah. I'll say this: if I was Chris Rock, the minute I see him walking up like that, I'm not taking it as casually. I probably wouldn't be like laugh and stick my head out, put my hands behind my.
Will has never done anything like that before that we know of.
And Jordan,
look what he said. He said Jay said Tupac wouldn't let that slide.
She said, "Yo, Pac." She said, "Pac, you think Pac would be doing this right now? Pac wouldn't even be still sitting here right now. I wouldn't even be."
I'm gonna say this: we don't know.
Pac would have cared.
Huh? Pac would have laughed his ass off.
Of course he would have.
Pac, he would have laughed, or he would have had a comeback. Like, oh yeah, we got the same head, so what's up?
I can't.
No,
So,
I'm just saying, Pac wouldn't act, but that's what I don't think Will really acts that way, man. Will knows what he got. Like at the end of the day, this whole scandal came out of what your wife did. Will know what he's staying for. Will know what he got. He ain't
Will.
August.
Will is like LeBum. He controls the narrative on his life every single day, all day.
And you know what I think with this? The backlash is different than what he thought it was.
Yeah.
He thought everyone was going to be like, oh, because that gets him over the hump of what happened with the other stuff.
I'll say that part of it. I think that was definitely the finally like the breaking point. The reason why I say that is because it was the point of like, all right, I can't keep letting all this keep getting brought up in the public eye, and then I continuously haven't done anything about it.
Yeah,
I think now that was what the breaking point was. He was like, all right, I gotta at least do something. And like you said, right, it's like it was the idea that he thought that by doing this, now it erases everything else before. It's like, all right, see, he's standing up.
At least he slapped somebody.
Yeah, like he finally slapped somebody because he got the opportunity to. It's not on no social media. It's not internet beef. It's none of that. He's right in front of him. Yeah, yep. But yeah, that's all it was. It was finally something. It was in person. He didn't do something this time. It was easy to be like, yo, look.
And Chris Rock is joking about it, like, oh, when Dave Chappelle got attacked, he's like, oh, was it Will Smith? Like, bro, Will Smith slapped you, bro. Like, to me, it was no points for that. I was like, all right, he slapped you.
Because, and this is the difference. Will Chris Rock learned to take that and use that to his advantage.
But that's also if they both weren't in on it. I feel like they both were, because no matter what, Chris Rock was gonna have people like, yo, that was messed up what Will did.
Yeah.
But for you as a person, and this is just me thinking, man hitting another man, because I know what comes out of it.
He didn't hit him. He slapped him.
No, just listen for a second.
He didn't hit him. He slapped him.
No, but just listen. But the slap means I'm not knocking you out. It means you could come back at me. If you punch, it's different. That's why I say the slap for Chris Rock got slapped and was like, I ain't going back. Nah, y'all was in on it, bro. Because if you punch me, knock me out, I'll take that L that day. But if you slap me, I don't care who. You could be my daddy. I'll be like, yo, what's up?
What?
He said Will thought he had the Men in Black eraser pen.
For real. That's what he needs. He needs it now.
So, the two things that annoy me: one, that he slapped him and didn't just punch him. That pissed me off. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, at least if he punched him, I respect that more.
No, but I see.
Oh, yeah.
But think about it like this: a slap is more disrespectful to the person that's getting hit. It's more of the like, I don't even respect you enough to ball.
I'm trying to clean you, bro. You ain't gonna take that slap and whoop my ass.
Like that. Like
if
you get slapped and do nothing about it, it looks worse than if you get punched and do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but true. If that's your girl, that's a different. You're not. That's very controlled.
Yo, see, I appreciate my see that.
So what if it's disrespectful? So the other thing, which is more important to me and what I really want to talk about, is Will took the stage, the opportunity on an Oscar stage to hit another black man, and that feeds right into stereotypes. And he also did it on the day he won the Oscar for Best Actor. Why would you're undermining your own stuff?
People don't care about that. People care about.
I do. I care about that. That's why I'm old and you guys are still light skinned and young.
but it also look at your upbringing. Your upbringing was a true progression, opposed to a guy like Will Smith, where it was like, I'm going here, and then parents just don't understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where your upbringing it gave you a development to understand what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. My actions mean something. You know, him? No, he never had to. And you can equate that to any other thing. You see how different people in different professions handle things at certain ages, and it either goes good for them or goes bad for them. It's the progression. You have to have a natural progression in life to learn and be able to appreciate for one and be able to actually learn, you know?
All right. Good talk. Good talk. All right, fellas. Let's get into generational differences. Favorite rapper?
Oh, but that's why it's not gonna make sense to y'all. For me,
What do you mean it's not gonna make sense?
I have two.
Okay.
So because you're not even gonna believe the first one. The first one's Nas.
I wouldn't believe him.
You from Amityville, bro. We believe that.
Because you just said the generational thing. They ain't for me. Huh? What?
How old do you think they are?
They're old, man.
But it's not that. Jordan's what, 25, 26?
Jordan's 11. Jordan's 11.
I'm about to be Charles Oakley this year.
Damn, you 34.
All babies. So Nas and who else?
Nipsey Hussle.
See? Young people stuff.
It's not young people stuff. Now he's the GOAT.
Nipsey is young people stuff.
Nipsey's young people stuff. It is not that Nipsey was.
No, he has good stuff, yeah.
But he's like Pop Smoke. Like
Pop Smoke
anybody
only
care about
like
Pop
six.
Smoke?
Pop Smoke only like 6 songs. Nipsey has some stuff.
No, Nipsey's a talented artist. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like Pop Smoke. Would anybody care about Pop Smoke if they didn't incessantly play his music after he died?
That's true.
It made him bigger, but he had a big following before that. I'll say this, like Pop Smoke, see RP Pop, see yo Greg real one. But Pop was already he was on the rise. He was the fastest growing artist. Listen. He was the fastest growing artist in a year. He had the song of the summer, and then the year later he grew to just superstardom level
because he died.
No, and then he died. He grew.
He was in that stupid ass movie.
I didn't even see that. I saw
that basketball movie. The Asian dude wanted to give him the business.
Dylan.
Dylan Dillinger.
And Babs.
I can't speak on that.
Dylan. And
what made it worse was that they released that after he died. I'm like, damn, he probably didn't even have to say in that.
That's what they do.
Yeah, because they wanted to capitalize. So now you take his music legacy and his catalog, you shove it down people's throat. You play it incessantly because, remember Jay-Z's? You might not remember Jordan. Ray, remember Jay-Z's song? Jigga.
Jigga.
I hated that song when it came out.
That's my shit.
But then I heard it every day for 2 months.
I liking it.
I started liking it.
He's the kid's up there like.
He said it's kind of grown on. He said Jigga.
That's a car. All right, first of all, that's a Carter. Just remember that.
He is a Carter. Like Lil Wayne.
Ray.
Like Nick Carter, who got beat up by Lamar Odom.
Favorite rapper?
Pusha T.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
Pusha T.
Clips.
Yeah, Pusha T now or Pusha T Clips? So always Pusha T.
Always Pusha T. When he came out, because when he came out, it wasn't even his rapping. The beats was official.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always try to say
But then me getting older, and when I actually listen to the songs I like because of the beats, 'cause I'm a beats dude as it is. I was
That's
like,
right. Put that up there for the Matt, so they know.
Huh?
I'm talking to Matt. Matt, put it. That's right. That's why I call him Sir Joker. Put some spec on my name. Put some spec on. Put the sir on, young fellas.
Sure.
Mine's are. For a long time, it was Redman. Or for a really long time, it was
Redman's fine.
Redman was tough.
I ain't
You still
listened to
hear him
enough Redman
now.
by himself.
He said what?
I ain't listened to enough Redman by himself.
Because when he came out, you probably heard him and Meth all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be like, well, they're okay together. I'm like, but I always preferred Redman, and I didn't think Method Man was as good a lyricist. I'm not saying Method Man's not a good lyricist. That's not what Achilles saying. I always preferred
Facts.
Redman though. And then, but now you know who it is now.
That's your number one.
Oh, Carter, of course.
Oh,
Why?
I'll say this. That's cute. That's like a safe pick. That's
I
like
used to watch Fade to
I
Black
just said it
before
was
every game.
Redman for my whole life until it was Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Now it's easy to say Jay-Z just because of everything else he's done on top of the music. Oh, see Wu-Tang. See Wu-Tang for the kids.
So you want me to get into my top five? So my top five, Biggie, Red, Jay. I definitely like Skills.
Nas, man, come on, Nas.
Solo.
Okay, well, last time I checked, it was Achilles' top five, not Jordan's. Okay. Thought's a problem. Black Thought's a problem.
Black Thought's official.
Black Thought's a problem. Then maybe Royce. I like Royce too. Royce
the 5'9"?
Royce the 5'9". Go listen to his stuff.
I have. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I have. Only, and I'll be real with you too. For a minute, right? Like there was probably I was like 6th, 7th grade. Eminem I thought was fire, right? So he was probably one of my favorite listeners. Hear me out. So that's probably he did a lot of collab stuff with a lot of Detroit rappers. So Royce the 5'9" was one of them, and I was always just like curious as to why he named himself that. So then I looked into his stuff a little bit more. I listened to his music. I'm like, yeah, all right. Like he's nice. But I just for you to say that he's in your top 5, that's
now Royce is tough, but he's only 5'9".
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
but I'd probably set him number 6 actually, if you want to get logistically correct.
See?
I wouldn't put Nas in my top 10. It's not because I don't. I wouldn't put LeBron in my top 5.
That's because you're
I'm a hater.
I hate niggas who's dark skin.
Why am I a hater?
You're a LeBron hater.
Why am I a LeBron hater? Because I don't like his game.
Why is LeBron top 5?
Why is that shit put
Why
on
is LeBron top 5?
Yes.
Of all time?
Yes.
He's top 5 all time just because of how long his longevity and his ability.
Oh, stop!
Go to college.
Jordan.
Oh,
Jordan, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. You just said longevity, right? You look yourself in the mirror and you say, "I'm a man. I'm this guy. I'm better than you now because I'm older than you, and Achilles better than both of us because he's older than both of us." Since you said because he's been in the game longer.
Life ain't basketball.
Okay, all right. Hold on. We'll get back to this. We'll get back to this tomfoolery that you just said in a minute because people tell me that all the time, and I'm going to tell you. And we will get back to. I got to make a note. NBA 5 all time. So, Ray, your top 5 rappers.
Not in order though. I can't do an order.
No, I need an order. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Pusha T, that's one. I say Pusha T's one. The other one,
yeah.
Joe Budden,
okay.
Wale.
Okay.
Wale is.
Why can't he have it? Hold on a second, Jordan. Let the man finish his 5. Then we can discuss.
Jay-Z.
Yes.
And it's a tie. It's a tie for Tupac and Kid from Kid and Play.
Oh, Kiss. I couldn't remember. He's up in my top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Kid from Kid Play because he rapped, he didn't curse, and he had Gina in the first house party. That's what she was. That's
Jordan,
what she was her best.
Your top 5, please, sir.
That's what she was her best. After that, Gina turned into Michael Kyle's wife.
My top 5 is gonna be, I'll say, Nas, Nipsey.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, this is tough.
Uh-huh.
I'll say Biggie, but for a few reasons. I'll circle back if y'all really care. Biggie. So I said Nas, Nip, Biggie. Damn, somebody I'm gonna probably that race ain't like 2 Chainz.
I do like 2
Like
Chainz.
2 Chainz,
I like 2 Chainz for real.
Nah, he told me that this year. I was like, nah, come on, man. 2 Chainz.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Damn, this is tough. Hold on. Off top.
Yeah, Nas, Nipsey, Biggie.
Yeah, again, how come
else
Jordan said off top like he about to spit bars himself? Like, yo, you have your 5. I understand 5 to 6 is hard. You don't want to say one and like you just rank the other.
So I got Nas, Nip, Biggie. All right, I say this: Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Perkins. Like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar, bro.
Hey, Kendrick Perkins got bars.
No, he don't.
Yeah, he do. Damian Lillard.
Dame's okay.
Nah, J. Cole. That's my top 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So, Jay, Ray, you said Pusha, Wale, Kid, Jay. Who else did you say?
Kid, what? I said, and Tupac.
Tupac. Oh, that's what you said. You said no. You said Pac. Okay.
No, yeah, Tupac.
And Jordan, you said Nas, Nipsey, Biggie, Kendrick, and Cole. And then I had the good top 5. No, I'm just playing. So you said Jay is easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Being that Jay's in my age generation gap, and I relate to him because we're both married, both have kids, have both shown progression. Where I was 10, 15 years ago, I'm not there now. Where Jay was, or whatever, he's not there now. So isn't part of your favorite somebody that you can relate to?
100%.
Okay, so why is Jay easy?
I think, see, you gave you a real reason. I think a lot of people just throw Jay in there in their top 5 just because, yes, it's easy. He's been around.
He's a Carter, too.
Okay, but see,
That's the
same
first,
thing as
second,
LeBron,
third,
right?
fourth, fifth reason.
The way LeBron is so easily thrown into the top 5 all time is because it's like there's certain things that are just undeniable.
For you.
The stats, right? Right?
For you.
Huh?
He's your top 5 for you.
It's for a lot of people because to round it out, even a lot of people just like if you ask most people that question you just asked me on the spot, they're probably gonna throw Jay-Z in there because he's still someone that's relevant now, even outside of music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always gonna.
But he was
alone,
just on Push's album, and Push's album just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I personally listened to probably like growing up when even I remember this my senior year of high school. Coach Ray was his second year or third year as the assistant on for varsity, and we had to push a song numbers on the board as part of our one. And I remember he was like, "Oh yeah, what y'all know about Pusha T?" And we started talking about it, whatever. Yeah. And just the aspect of just the like you're saying. I mean, Jay-Z's great, all that, right?
But that's for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
what
we're
I'm
talking about. And we're talking about a 20-year difference between me and you.
Yeah,
and also, we're not talking true statistics where you could prove who's what. He said for him, I said for me, you said for you. So you can believe it's easy, but at the same time, it's all perception.
Yeah,
100%. We can all get different views from.
What he's saying too is like the reason why Nas is one of my favorites is because of how relatable he is to me.
You saw that, right?
Well, nah, I ain't see it.
Danielle just popped in here. Was like,
She was like,
Damn, I missed. Tell her to come back. She wants
Hey!
to come.
"Come here,
come chop it up.
That's what I'm
come
saying.
here."
Guru,
You
Jay,
give him baby food.
Cormega, and who? Odyssey?
Cormega.
I don't know who that is.
Cormega, dang, that's an old ass name. Yeah,
Honestly, I don't know who. I don't know.
Nature. Nature. So, okay, so that one was good. Now, top 5 all time. So now we're gonna start with you, Jordan, since you were talking that boo-boo, that booty chatter. We're gonna put LeBron. Who else?
Oh, top 5 all time.
For you, yeah. Which is gonna be wrong,
Mike.
but you know. Who?
Mike.
Okay.
Kobe.
Mike Tyson, got it. Who? Kobe.
That's 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul.
He's nice though.
Chris Paul. And damn, that's tough. KD.
See? So you got 2 good people on it. What's interesting is that you did yours positionless. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, positionless. I don't care about the position.
T-Mac.
That's not how you learn how to play basketball. Go ahead,
T-Mac.
Ray.
T-Mac.
Oh, yeah, that's his boy.
It's also because I played 5 positions, but Ray don't believe it.
T-Mac, go ahead.
Trace. Hey, Sean Prince.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you like Tayshaun.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I do, bro. Stop that.
I said I forgot you like
That's 'cause they look
Tayshaun
alike.
Prince.
Pat Ewing. Who's 1, 2? Penny.
Ewing.
Penny. And Magic.
Oh, that's your starting 5?
No, that's his top.
No, that's my top 5.
Oh, that's just your top
So
5. Right?
you have 4 of the same player. And you
That's all.
Yeah, you
That's
know.
all I'm like,
Yeah. Yo.
Five,
No, Kelly, but start that narcissist game. No, but
He's in that
yo,
narcissist game.
those. Tayshaun, he was
so
my
hold on.
favorite player all time. Tayshaun.
Magic. Mine's Magic. MJ. KD.
About Magic, I don't know how I forgot about Magic.
Duncan. And Shaq.
Nah, I got my 5.
Duncan,
We
Shaq.
hooping. We get up and down the court playing
What do you mean
defense.
Duncan and Shaq?
Huh?
No, nothing wrong with that. I was just
Because
repeating
again, let's go. So
Jordan taking his team against yours. Like, yo, we gonna give it to them.
I'll say this. I didn't know we was really putting a team together like that.
no. But that's what I
No.
said. Top 5.
That's why he said. That's why he joked about me. He said, "Yo, you got 4 the same dude."
But I think that also goes to the mindset of how you learn basketball.
And how I like to play.
I didn't learn basketball with small ball and 19 guards and no big.
That's because you was 6'8" in 6th grade.
I wasn't because I'm only 6'2" now. But
But you're right. It's how you look at the game.
But
yeah, because I look at it by position,
mhm.
and but that's how I learned it, and that's how I teach it. And boy, my man was gonna say AKO. Karolinka was all right.
AK-47.
Yeah,
Till he got
all right.
dunked on by Baron Davis.
Oh,
It was over.
mm-hmm.
All right, so
Nate.
all right, so now when we talk about making our top 5 and you know, how do you think? And we'll go back to your top five, which I like four. I like three of your top five.
Take that.
Because
How do
you
you
pick
how do you
KD, that's
go?
one.
How do you think the game has evolved, and how do you like how the game has changed?
I'll say this: if I would, damn, I said it again. If I was, that's crazy, yo. If I was playing now, I look at from a player standpoint. Because I'll say this: like I remember, like I'm still in that in between of I look at things from a player's mentality, and I look at things from a coach's mentality. Sometimes it just depends. I don't really get to pick and choose. I might be in the gym and I'm watching, and as I'm watching, I'm like, man, I can kill these dudes. That's my player's mentality. Sometimes I walk to the gym and I'm like, oh, he's nice, or he could do this, or if he did, oh, he needs to work on that. That's my coach's mentality, and it'll come out whichever time. I don't really get to pick and choose when it'll come out. It'll just come out. But looking at the game now from a player's mentality, I would have liked to play more so now just because of how fast paced the game is. I always wanted to push the ball. I felt like coaches said they wanted to push the ball, but then as soon as you pushed it and got over half court, they're like, oh, hold on, slow it down. And that's what I got. I grew up a lot of half court offense, half court sets, getting the ball into the middle, and if it doesn't touch the middle of the paint first, then you can't even put a shot up outside of it. So it's like that's how I learned to play, but then I wanted to play a different way. And when I got to college, for instance, it was all different kinds of ways because my coach was all over. That's a whole different story. Point is, I think now the game is sped up a lot more. Like I think there was transition. I say like you look at LeBron's career, for instance, he came in 03. There was the game was already transitioning then to a lot more of a high paced offense, little more shooting. But overall, it's even more how it's progressed is now you're looking for a quick shot. If it's open, you'll take it rather than a better shot, knowing that hey, this shot we can get this anytime.
Yep, pace and space.
Pace and space. Yep. It's if you're not you're willing to exactly play at a higher pace and being able to just know okay, get to the spots, get to the right areas on the floor, get the ball there, and get a shot up. Not really worried too much about okay, if we get this shot up, can we get that shot anytime? It's more so okay if that person is the right person to take that shot, then you probably don't even care because the percentages too for some people they probably shoot better percentages outside. Like when I got to college was the first time that we really started breaking down percentages and how where people took their shots and shot charts things like that. And I started seeing some people shooting better from three than they did inside of it. And I'm like, that what kind of sense does that make? That doesn't statistically. If you didn't know this person, you never watched them play and just saw it on paper. What kind of sense does that make in a basketball standpoint? But you start realizing just people are just understand that they're going to only play to their strengths. And if only playing to their strengths is shooting the shots that you take, meaning you feel more comfortable shooting a three than going in between a guy, making contact and finishing at the rim. If you're more comfortable doing the first rather than the latter, then your coach is also going to be more comfortable with that too. And the way the game is played now, high pace, they'll be more comfortable with that because you're willing to make the quick decision rather than holding it, being a black hole, which is what Melo got described as and what the game was trying to get away from. And that's
which he was.
He
described that.
Yeah, he got described that, but it was also he got super spotlighted as that because at the time the game was moving completely away from that idea of one guy's gonna be able to take 5, 6, 7 dribbles with his back to the basket and get a shot off. It was that people were tired.
But you know what the trade-off is?
Well, that's what they do now.
They knew when Melo got the ball, he ain't passing it. So their hands ain't even ready. I'm not passing to someone who's not ready.
You what?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said what happened with Melo too was when he got the ball, and it's a little trade-off where it's like they knew he wasn't passing the ball back out, so their hands wasn't even ready. But then on the other end, Melo's looking like your hands ain't ready. I ain't passing you the ball either. So you could get described as a black hole if they know you ain't gonna give it. But if you're not making yourself an option as well.
What do you mean, which Melo? Ain't nobody talking about LaMelo Ball. Can you kick him out to? Oh my God! So I know he's talking about which Melo. I like it. So
crazy.
But what I think is interesting is what you're saying now, like the back to the basket. Every team runs the same offense, the high pick and roll, or then they ISO. The Warriors run a little bit of a different offense, but for the most part, Like the Nets legitimately look up like they're playing pickup. Like Steve Nash was like, I was just like, what are y'all doing? First of all, then you have KD bringing the ball up too much. Can he handle the ball? Yeah. He's not a point guard. And what happens is if you get a small enough guard that has quick hands or a good forward, because again, Tatum's 9-10 years younger than KD.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember just, age and, quick hands and all that stuff. So, but that's also because of Kyrie, because Kyrie was out. So then because Kyrie was out and Harden left because, he wanted to go to Philly and lead them somewhere or something.
Didn't do nothing. He wanted to go to Philly and be Ben Simmons.
Stephen A. called him trash the other day. He was like, Harden's trash.
I wouldn't say they're trash.
I'm telling you what Stephen A. said, sir. So what about the Nets and Kyrie? Let's talk about that.
All right.
All right. Relax with the KD slander. Again, this is my show.
No. It's cool.
Not you. KD's ankles aren't strong.
That one.
They'll give you buckets.
He'll give everybody buckets.
100%. 100%. That's
Kyrie holds the ball like Julian Newman. Go ahead, Jordan. We're talking about the Nets and the debacle of a season and the last couple of years.
First off, Julian Newman's trash. Second off,
because they look alike, it ain't the same height.
Bro, I'll say this. Being real with you, I've been compared to him, and I'm like, that gets me tight. I'm not gonna lie, it gets me a little heated. That's what
Dude, doing like 17, 18.
No, he's not. He reclassed like 6 times. He's my age, bro. Don't get.
It's your cousin, bro.
Is that the little guard?
Yes, I'm like.
It's not even. He's the same height he was 15 years ago, and his game's not evolving.
No, he takes 30 dribbles in one
spot. Not even moving. One spot.
And he shoots with 2 hands. I'm not hearing it. Anyway, Kyrie.
In the Nets. Kyrie in the Nets.
Kyrie is a problem in a good way. Kyrie is
not in a good way.
In a good way. What? In a good way?
In a good way. I'll say this. I think this year was that weird year because of just the whole COVID situation and all that.
Is this year 3 year 4 with them?
Of course.
I think it's.
No, I'm saying
it's Kyrie's
is this year 3 year 4 with them?
But if we're looking, I'm speaking on because what I'm getting at is basically
KD, it's 3. I think Kyrie, it's 4.
That's Kyrie, what I'm saying. Like Jordan, what you're saying is right. If this was the first year,
but that's
year 3 year 4.
My point is,
happened for everybody.
It's not Kyrie. Yeah, but not the same way because for him, his situation was different. He didn't want to get the vaccine. Fine, that's a whole different situation.
I respect that he stood on his morals. Even
my thing is,
he stood on his.
Ray, let him finish.
His seasons are different. Like he's not gonna. You can't put it all on Kyrie because I think, or even listen, or even on KD. That team is a lost cause. You can't expect that. First of all, between the last 2 to 3, 4 years, whatever, like you said, Kyrie got there, right? Then KD, then Harden got there. Over the progression of all that happening, they didn't do shit else to make sure that those guys were going to have the support they needed.
But what did Achilles say? They was playing pickup, bro.
Exactly. But why? But why? Because you have
Steve Nash is equal to the Aaliyah movie as a coach. Straight trash.
Dame Dash was 6'4", bro. Dame Dash is for real like 5'7".
Like, come on. What is Steve Nash doing? He doesn't say anything to them.
No,
he doesn't say anything in the huddle. You can't expect Kyrie and KD to change their stripes.
He's a player's coach. That term probably works for him because that's probably the way he would describe himself in an interview. where it's like, hey, I've been here before. I understand. I know.
But he hasn't. He's been an assistant. He's been player development or whatever he did.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm
he's never coached.
that's what I'm saying. But that's where a lot of these guys get the in as a player, because now your resume as a player, if you're a 2-time MVP in the league, especially as a point guard, now it's going to look like you can coach basketball.
They did. He should have been one. They did Shaq dirty, and like Achilles said, he was a players coach, and for the Warriors, not like you for the championship Warriors, not like you were for the
with KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond, and whoever else and others.
Yes,
like when your bum is Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala, those are your bums on your team.
But you know those guys are gonna listen to everything you got to say. Like, stop. But Steve, he's not a good coach at all.
Yeah, I'll say this. Yeah, as I said, like he's that figurehead more so, where it's just like, hey, we have this guy that everybody knows, so that's also appealing for Brooklyn. That was a draw.
They went on a podcast and said, we don't really need a coach.
We don't need a coach. Yeah,
but it's the truth.
But they do. You know why?
That's not the truth at all. That's
no. See, all right. Let me explain. I'm saying in the sense of, do they need a coach? Yes. But in their sense of the reason what he's saying in the context of it's, if Steve Nash is the person that you're calling our coach and you're saying, do we need him? We don't. So that's what they're saying. We don't need a coach.
How you know he meant that?
Because they're saying it without.
How you know he meant that? Did he tell you? Did he tell you?
Because they're going
to. Your daughter. This is what I meant, man.
All right. Think about this, Coach Ray. Think about this. Anybody on our team going to be like, yo, we don't need Coach Ray? Openly say that to you?
No.
Hey,
but they're going to do it. But they're going to say it with their actions when they're not listening to you, when they think that they don't need to run, when they don't need to change their game.
He said it verbally. He said it verbally.
Might say that. Who? Timo Cruz might say that.
Rufino? Yeah, Rufino. Yeah, Rufino just shut up, Ray. Like that.
I can see. You know what? He needs to have a moment when we'll talk about Whitman for a second. Rufino needs to have the moment when he challenges something you say, and not in a way where you're wrong, but he needs to establish the fact that he's going to be, the figurehead on the court. He needs to establish that,
I feel like he doesn't, as much as we try to show him that. And I don't know if I've said things. I know Coach Jordan said things. I feel like he's the type of kid until, like, with certain people, someone could come to you with an idea. And it could be a good idea, but you don't pay attention because you're not trying to listen to him. And 2 weeks later, you're like, you got this idea and it's this. Mind you, it's the same thing they said to you 2 weeks ago. I feel like he's one of those type of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he understands what we're saying, but if in his mind it doesn't come up like, oh, I thought of this, then I'm not going to do that.
But that's why I'm saying he needs to challenge. He has to challenge you to some extent as the point guard or whatever, the best player on the team. All my teams I've ever been on, the best player on the team has always had a moment when he disagreed with the coach.
No, but I say for Jordan, when he played for us, it was senior year. Like junior, he didn't get much playing time when he should have. Senior year, he was the guy. And there's times when it was like, you got to do this, and it's like, why? Why doesn't mean it's a bad thing. He just
that's what I'm saying.
Yes. That's one thing. But a lot of these kids nowadays don't even have the why. Because the kid who does have the why, the coach isn't challenging him because he's afraid if I say, no, that's not right, he's going to leave.
Yeah. I'll say this, even from like the difference, that's why I was saying too, like what I would see around me, what was happening a lot was even just from kids transferring, reclassing, whatever, anything to give themselves a step ahead because they were the fear of having to hear from a coach that, hey, you're not ready right now. Because that means that now I have to work on everything that I think works for me now is not enough. And that means that in their mind, they already did everything they need to do to be the player they need to be. They're like, well, then if they're telling me I'm not, that fear of hearing that is enough to be like, nah, I'll just reclass or I'll transfer. I'll go somewhere where someone is going to give me a chance or someone's going to just tell me what I want to hear. And that alone is enough to keep me going. Because for me, like my progression as a player, like Coach was saying, I didn't even really play a lot till my senior year. And all the years before that I was always told, hey, you're not going to play a lot. Straight up from the day one of like tryouts happen, like I will make the team. And that's the conversation as I'm making the team, where it's like bittersweet. And that's why I'd always walk out and everyone's like, why aren't you happy you made the team? I'm like, well, first of all, that wasn't the goal. And second of all, I'm getting told before I even got a chance now to even start playing against the guys that are going to be on the team, I'm getting told I'm not going to play this year. So I'm like, okay. So that put a little chip. And I think that's missing from a lot of guys, where instead of it putting a chip on your shoulder, I'm not saying you got to hate the world or this, that, and the third. And that's not the chip. The chip is just someone's telling you that you're not going to be something, or they have some expectation of you. And now you're instead going to change that or reshape that, or do that. But instead it's the shy away from it and be like, you know what? They told me I can't, so I'll believe it. And if they say I can't, well, then I'll just go to someone else that'll tell me that I can't. And that's what I'm saying. Where it's
Mike McDougal, whatever his name was, McDougall, whatever his name was,
McDonald.
Sure, him, whatever. So, talking about the chip, and we're gonna shift to what you guys actually do now. How do you feel? Like, how do you get kids to want to get better when they have situations like you had, like the tall kid that didn't try out his junior year because he was 6'9"? He was just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it."
I mean, a lot of it goes to the fact of where we are now. We have to understand that they were raised to a certain point, you know, where a lot of situations happen not because the kid actually, because it's like ignorance is bliss. The kid doesn't know they're messing up, but they only know what they were taught, you know? So it's like this year we had a COVID situation, and we had a kid who didn't have COVID, and the people who did have COVID was out of the building. We were able to practice and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, my mom is telling me she's afraid for me to go to school," so they didn't go to school for the last week of school before Christmas break. What was ironic with that they're saying the reason they didn't want them to go to school because they had family coming in at the end of the week for the holiday, where it's like, hey, you're not doing this because you have people coming, but they could be coming with whatever they want to come with. How for us as coaches could we tell a kid what your parent is telling you that's bullshit when their parent is telling them, you know? Like, I'm gonna say this for myself. I played football, I played basketball. I was the quarterback and I was the starting forward and one point guard when I was starting point guard. So I couldn't miss nothing. Like, imagine me telling my football coach I can't go to 7-on-7 because I got basketball. Or telling my basketball coach I can't come because I got football. You know what I'm saying? So I made it work. These kids nowadays come up with these excuses why they can't do certain things. And I can't go back and I'm like, I did it, so you should be able to. That's really not right. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of the mentality too, though, like you saying, is the excuses already built in by their parents. The excuses they're telling their parents are already telling them, hey, if the kid is saying I can't do this, I don't want. Oh well, it's okay, and that's fine. There's one thing to tell the kid it's okay to not do something if they genuinely don't want to do it, but then there's also a way that needs to be handled, where it's either then it's just okay, then be straightforward about it. Go to that coach now. Tell that person. I would rather tell people have a lot of these players come up to me and tell me, hey, look, I don't even want to do this. I'm here for this reason. Oh,
I'm good. How are you? Good, Jordan.
I would rather have a lot of these players just tell us straight up, like, hey, I'm here for this. I would even respect it more if a player was like, look, man, this is my third sport. I'm just trying to get my gold key award. Like this, that's all. I know
do they
that.
know that? How many of them honestly know that? How many of them say, I have a goal? I'm here for this.
No, exactly. That's what, but that's a lot of them don't because they don't need to, because their parents are already telling them, listen, you don't want to, but you don't have to ever explain why. You know what I'm saying? You already said you don't want to, and that's enough for us. So you know what? You don't want to play, that's fine. But hey, little do they realize, or not even that they didn't realize, but little are they making their kids realize that you've already committed to something. There's other people involved. There's other people's time involved. There's other people's energy involved. There's other lives that you're messing with. And it doesn't mean that, again, that you can't still live with your decision that you've made, but you got to communicate that, and you got to be real about that and straightforward, instead of trying to beat around the bush and then trying to say one thing like, yeah, I'm all for the team, I'm this, I'm that, I'm committed, and your actions are saying everything but that, or the way your attitude, or the way that your work ethic. Yeah, because some people, enough for them, they're like, hey, well, I've showed up to every practice. We even had some guys, they show up early. So then for them, they're like, well, look, I'm the first guy in, last guy out. But nowadays, that doesn't mean anything, because if you're the first guy in and you're doing nothing and the last guy out and you still didn't do shit, then what did you really do? And what does that really mean? But like Coach is saying, if you're the best out of the worst, like someone's got to be the best, right? If everyone, the level and the tier and the work, all of that is just dropped. The chip, the drive, the motivation, and then also the backing from the parents. Where the parents are sugarcoating a lot of things. I truly believe that, and that's what I've seen from in all aspects of whether it's basketball, outside of basketball, whatever. I think a lot of these kids now, unfortunately, are just getting misguided from their parents, from social media too. Social media is telling them one thing, whereas if you're able to post a highlight, then it doesn't even matter what's really happening in between the highlights, because you have the highlight. So now you post that, no one cares about, well, what did you do during the game? If you're only 2 points were a windmill dunk on somebody, that's all anybody needs to talk about is tweet. But they don't realize that you went 1 for 14. You also missed 7 free throws. You had 6 turnovers. You lost.
Man, take
No
him
one
out the
cares about
game.
that because you posted your. Yeah, that's a terrible stat.
But you had a dunk.
That's what some of these kids really be having. But
They're like, yo, but I don't doing dude though.
But you had a
Remember
dunk.
that?
You had a dunk though. So, but yeah, that's my rant. I had to get that off my chest because that's.
Whew. All right. 3 questions left. How do you help kids figure out how to be men for yours, or women if you coach women? How do you help them to be a man, prepare them to be a man, or prepare them to be a woman when they don't have a good role model present?
You can't allow that to push you off your square, because you have kids who, and like me bringing it back to the level we're coaching at, we're dealing with a lot of kids who already have their habits, a lot of at that point in life, already have the people they look up to at that point in life, already have their perspectives or people who they think mean the right, well, they want them to hear the right thing from them. So it could be like, we could be telling the kid like, yo, the sky's blue, and they're like, no, the sky's green because my mom's telling me that, and I'm gonna believe her over anything. But it's more relating the right habits, what we want to do to develop in basketball, to life.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to win a game, which is a result, we have to put in work in. We have to practice. We have to prepare. We have to do the right things to form the right habits to be successful that day. Hey, you want a paycheck at the end of the week? You got to go to work. You got to wake up early. You got to, if that's not your sleep schedule, you got to prepare to sleep differently. You have to change certain things to make your life work, to put in the actual work to get your paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
But too many adults nowadays skip that work aspect of it and expect, because time is put to it in a certain circumstance, or nowadays financially money. You train with somebody paid $50 for the hour, you expect your kid to be Jordan after that one session.
Or at least Pippen.
Not even Pippen, like Luke Longley, because at least you could show yourself you got a fake cook. Like
Jordan, sir, same question to you. How do you help a kid become a man or a woman without a good role model present?
I'll say this.
I'll say this. I say that to say this.
I'll say this. No, for real. I'm figuring it out, because for myself, I'm figuring out a lot of things, and not meaning like that I didn't have any good role models. I think I had a lot. I just think that they came from all different areas, so I had to pick and choose what I was going to take from each, because even my role model still messed up, and I think that part of it actually allowed me to understand that as much as I've made mistakes or did things like that, I was always the first one to allow myself to realize, like, hey, it's all right, you fucked up, but you got to keep moving with it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there'd probably be most of the other people around me, most of the, most of the other people around me would be the ones telling me honestly, yo, you know better, you did, and making me trying to make me feel bad for what I just did. Where I already know what I did was I know right from wrong, and that's always been like even the theme from even taken from where I was growing up to now. Where as a kid, my mom, I was a like a pretty mature kid in the sense of I knew right from wrong, but I would still choose to do wrong a lot more often than right because I was impulsive. So now as I've grown and I've gotten a little more mature, there's still some impulsivity, but overall, it's like I know right from wrong. So if I know right from wrong, why not choose right? Why not? You know what I'm saying? And if I do tell everyone else, hey, I know right from wrong, or I know, then instead of having to tell people after I've done wrong that I know, why not just do right from the beginning and not have to tell people after the fact? And I think that where the most that I could tell, like Coach Ray's heard me say it to the kids where a lot of them in their minds, I mean, they only see it from whatever they've gotten, right? So whatever I've given them, whatever I've shown now, a lot of them think that me, Ray, you are just who we are now, just because we woke up one day and became this person. And it's like a lot of them don't realize that there's a lot of things that you have to go through, a lot of mistakes you have to make, a lot of things that you have to overcome to become this person, and that you didn't just and you know, luckily we had like what 11 seniors this year. So I was able to have
lucky. That ain't lucky. That ain't
well,
lucky.
yeah, well, it wasn't anything. Yeah, I'll say this, it wasn't lucky.
Just
But
about to be young, brother.
yeah,
Real young.
from a basketball standpoint, it's all types of fucked up. From a life standpoint, it was cool for me for my first real coaching experience, my first full season, to see like, all right, well, if from a basketball standpoint, I've exhausted all the resources, all the ways I could teach these kids, and they're just not retaining it. They're not able to produce the way that I need. Fine, then at least you know what? Let me at least leave them with something that they can take, because there's still more to this than I know in between the lines. And I know for myself, I appreciate a lot about basketball and everything that it's brought to me, a lot of the escape that it's been for me, a lot of lessons it's taught me. So for these kids, I still want them to understand that just even if you're not a good basketball player, you know, you can still take a lot from the game and your experience that you have within it. And that then the people that you're involved with, like me and Coach Ray, like they're lucky. I be talking about this all the time. My girl, she be saying it, you know, not to toot our own horn, but realistically, a lot of these coaches and a lot of people nowadays, like we were saying, don't keep it real and aren't going to tell you what you need to hear over what you want to hear. We're willing to tell you what you need to hear so that way you could actually do something with that. And then at the end of the day, if you still choose to do wrong or not even right from wrong, because I don't want to label it as that, but if you choose to make your own decisions and it's different from what we're telling you or some advice that we've given you or some knowledge, at least we can at least say like, hey, we gave you that knowledge and then it was up to you to make the decision with it after the fact. But at least I can't say that I didn't do my part and at least try to intervene and you know, kick a little something to you that would stick. And if at that point, like for me, like I said, if the basketball fails, if that part fails, then I mean, it is what it is. I feel like then at that point, I really failed you as a coach. But for myself, I mean, I'm 25, so I'm still learning a lot myself and still making a lot of mistakes. So I think I'm teaching these kids a lot more so through my mistakes and the things that like my personal experience than anything else. But yeah, that's it, man.
That's it. Like mic drop. I like it. So, how do you guys find? And Ray sort of answered this a bunch of times, but how do you find longevity and meaning in what you're doing and carry it forward?
I say this for myself. I'm having for myself. I'm figuring that out too. Like I think it's early, you know, for myself. Like I have a lot of different avenues that I see myself potentially going down, but I have that idea of like there's a slight fear of I'm like I know I can do it, but is it going to be when I get to a certain point of no return in my mind, or is there going to be that point of no return? Like that's what I think of sometimes, where I'm like, okay, let's say like I have my real estate license, I'm a GM of a food place, and then I'm coaching. So I have 3 avenues that I could take my life into, and I'm like, All right, I know I love basketball. I know one day I want to own my own business, and I also love doing real estate. But which one do I really care enough about and willing
All
enough
of
to
them.
put time in to refine
All
it?
of them. Make them work.
Trying. That's why I be answering your text like a real light skin dude 3 days later.
Nah, that ain't no real light skin dude. We
Do or do
punctual,
not. There is no such thing as try.
all right?
Yoda.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I guess you can answer the question, right? Even though you already answered it.
A lot of it's being able to look myself in the mirror though, for real. Because we got too much fake expectations and fake response off of what people perceive within themselves. Like for us, you can look at us from a record standpoint, but that we put in way more work than a record.
Yeah.
You can look at us as in a standpoint from the players, but you got some players who think you had a good season because they played well, even though the record's not there. You got some players who didn't play much, and you could have a good season, and they're like, "Oh, this season sucked" because they thought they should have played. You know. But a lot of it is for real. It's just looking yourself in the mirror and saying, "What do you think about yourself?" But you also have to be open and know yourself enough to say to where you're going to answer yourself truthfully.
Mm.
You know? Understand what you're looking for. If I feel like I want to be at that point where I want to win the championship, and I had a championship team to win a championship, and say we didn't, I gotta look at myself and say, "Hey, we could have had a better record," or you know what I'm saying? It's being honest with yourself overall.
All right. Now for the promised debate about you calling me a hater because of LeBum. So now,
Cut this short soon, please. 'Cause I'm tired. I'm so tired.
there's only 2 questions left. He just
All
told
right.
me that I'm a hater. Why am I a hater? Because I don't like LeBum.
I think. Well, the fact that you even labeling him as LeBum, like that's hater right there. That's you can't tell me that any part of his game isn't great. There's not a single part.
Oh, he's a
of his
terrible shooter. He's a terrible shooter.
But see, I can't. You're gonna say he's not. He's terrible.
He's a terrible. He's so streaky.
He's streaky, but he's still not terrible. There's a lot of streaky shooters. J.R.
Okay.
Smith's a streaky shooter, but he's still top 10 all time, or top 15, something like that, in 3-point makes. Somebody look that up. But
Okay.
No, I ain't looking at it.
but just that, like I'll say this, just the not even just the number standpoint, but again, like leading your team, being able to lead a team like the Cavs to the finals as many times he did in a weak East Conference. Fine, I'll give you that because that's just a fact. The East was a weak conference at the time.
I wouldn't say that. That wouldn't be one of my arguments.
I would.
You know what my argument would be? My argument would be this. He always put himself in a place where he had to be the man. And he always got the accolades of being the man. Bless you. Bless you again. See?
Dad, look at my dad.
He said, "Dad."
So I would counter that. I just don't like his game. Does not mean he's bad. Just like Nas. Nas is the man. I don't like Nas though. I don't care.
I don't like LeBron. I don't like LeBron because he's not copying him.
And I don't like that LeBron always tries to control a narrative. Like as much as KD annoys me off the court, he can't control a narrative.
You should like LeBron though.
Huh?
You should like LeBron though, based off of how you play the game, how you learn the game. You should like LeBron. LeBron didn't have any. LeBron, outside of when he got to St. Vincent St. Mary's, when he had the Italian dude coaching him and really refining his game that way. Before that, LeBron's game was just feel. It was just his physicality. Same like you said.
LeBron was in 8th grade, bro. LeBron
listen,
played for dude in 9th grade.
No,
You saying like LeBron was 26 and he changed his game.
See, JR 17 all time. Yo,
JR Smith's the man.
Yeah, but see, and he's considered a streaky shooter, right? And he's still top 20 all time. And exactly, but that was your argument.
But J.R. Smith also was a transitional 3-point shooter too, though. Because
he was.
No, I'm not saying in the like physical term. I'm just saying from years
Yeah.
Because he just got out the league a couple years ago, but he's for real was in. Because me and him probably I think the same age. We graduated 2006, but he was in the league like 2007, 2008. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know those Nuggets.
When I say transitional from you going from not shooting many threes to shooting 53s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think his volume increased.
I think KD shoots too many threes.
Yeah, they all do.
I don't think that he can't shoot them. I think he shoots too many threes. I don't think he's as good a three-point shooter as he is a mid-range shooter. But,
you know what's funny?
Go ahead.
You know the light-skinned dude who he has practice before our games? Kevin Whitaker. He used to coach at Deer Park. He coaches at Brentwood. He coaches girls JV at Brentwood now.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me this, like, I saw his team practice, so I asked him about it. The 2-3 where the backside, like, forward, he puts his, like, butt to the corner of the behind him, and he, like, opens up, and I'm looking like, why would you do that? And he's showing me, and I'm like, yo, because kids don't drive or take mid-range. I understand why they do it now. So it's more guarding the three on the reverse of the ball.
Yeah.
Which I would never want to do because I'm like, yeah, I know exactly how I break it. And I know, but it's like a lot of these kids don't play that way where they would break it that way.
No. Because you gotta coach their tendencies, not what you know. And that must be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
This is what they're gonna do. All right, so okay. I know you like LeBum. We'll call it that. We'll call it a stalemate. Last question. If you could be any superhero or supervillain, who would you be and why?
Green Lantern.
Oh, Green Lantern. I love it. Why?
Black.
Yep, I'm being straight up.
The original Green Lantern was white.
Well, I don't care. When I was a kid, I watched.
They don't have any Salvadorians, Jordan.
He was mixed. That's what it was, low key.
He's mixed.
They got the new Spider-Man.
He was the first mixed superhero. They didn't ever take it. But nah, he was the when I was a kid, I used to watch Justice League on Cartoon Network. Return to Toonami at night. It was on the anime stuff, and he was the only black superhero. And I'm like, I thought that was dope. That stood out to me. But then also, I just like my favorite color is green. So then that added to it. And then on top, I thought it was just dope. The whole concept. I'm like, he could do everything, but it's only if he puts the ring on. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like kind of like the dude with the laser beam eye. I can't think of his name.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he would probably be, and like I like the Flash because I was always fast as a kid, and I thought that was cool. Being able to, I always wanted to be the fastest person when I was a kid. Thought that being the Flash would have been dope. But yeah, I would still go Green Lantern first.
Nice. So, you guys stick around for 2 minutes. Thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Aiken. Even though you have terrible takes about LeBron, thank you, Mr. Eatman. Thank you, Baby Eatman.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. We are back. I believe I think we'll be back the 21st. So that'll be fun.
Thanks.
So, as the quote goes, when people are throwing stones at you, don't be upset. Catch them and build mansions with them. Joker out.
Thrown back.